Welcome to That Seems Unfortunate, where you get front row seat as we struggle to turn our ideas into reality. I'm your host, Stephen Bridenstine, and joining me is the other host, Chris Vittorio. Let the record show that I almost said I'm your host, Chris Vittorio. I'm not. He is. I'm not. I'm the other guy. How are you doing, Chris?
You know what? I wish I could answer that question with any sense of truth. So I'm just going to say that my ear hurts. I messed up the bass riff.
Did you?
And I'm really tired.
I didn't even hear the bass riff.
Well, no, it's not in the recording. It was before that when I actually messed it up.
Oh, that's good, because I just guessed where you were. For some reason, the bass makes it cut out.
Well, you know what? You actually did like perfect.
Woo!
And I want you to feel appreciated. Okay.
Woo!
So feel appreciated, Steve.
I certainly
Loisimos, we did it.
And now we're Dora. Alright.
I wasn't kidding when I said my ear hurts, though.
That's not good. I'm, tired.
Me too.
I was up until, 2 a.m. yesterday, which is not super late, but I was out until, after 1 o'clock bowling, because 1 a.m. bowling, why not, you know?
You know what? I wish I could do 1 a.m. bowling, but I can't even do that tonight, because I have work at 10 in the morning tomorrow.
Ouch. Dude, come up to Kent one weekend. We can bowl, or we can, not. It's a college town. There's, 6 billion things to do.
Youngstown's a college town, and there's nothing to do.
That's a different story.
We have Susie's and a candy shop.
There are malls that you
and
can
one
walk
hot cookie.
Ooh, one hot cookie. One hot cookie is better than the cookie place up here, though. So, Youngstown
one hot
has
cookie
that
is
beat.
Pretty bomb.
Yeah, one hot cookie is great. We have insomnia cookies, which is okay.
Shameless plug. One hot cookie.
Yeah, we have insomnia cookies, which is okay, but it's not the best. But we do have a donut place that sells tiny donuts.
Okay, how tiny?
What's a good example? Maybe the size of a can, a soda can. The top of a soda can, the circumference of a soda can.
You know what? Thank God you said that, because I have a can of Coke sitting in front
That's
of me
why
right
I
now.
said it. I have tea sitting next to me.
Okay,
so I was yeah, it's about that size.
So the size of a Hostess donut.
Yeah, and they have different things. I got one last time I went that had the sugar cream on it and marshmallows, Lucky Charms marshmallows. Not
Ignore the crinkling of cellophane that you're definitely going to hear through my mic.
Yeah, I do.
I have chocolate snack cakes, and I haven't really eaten today.
Yeah, I have Almond Joy and some chips.
Listen, my pay has been terrible, okay? My job sucks.
I don't even have a job. I might. I had someone come up to me and be like, hey, the place I work needs a job. Do you need it, or needs workers? Do you need a job? And I was like, yes,
no.
More than life itself. And they were like, oh, okay, cool. We got you. So I might have a job soon.
More than life itself.
Listen, I have very little amount of money to my name right now. I survive off of my meal plan, which doesn't necessarily mean I'm living poorly, but it means I have zero decision making when it comes to anything. I just go out and get whatever food is directly in front of me on campus. But I want to go to Chipotle, and I want to get tiny donuts. I like the tiny donuts. I think I'm gonna get tiny donuts once we're done recording.
All right.
I was gonna go get frozen yogurt, but that's a weird thing to go get by yourself. At least if you get tiny donuts, you can pretend like you're bringing them back to people. But
I mean, I'd get froyo by myself, because froyo.
I've considered it, and I'm sure I will one day. I think they close at really awkward times. I went there once and it was 8 o'clock, and they're not supposed to close till 11, and there was nobody in the store. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go then. I guess closed.
Not gonna deal with this social awkward part.
Yeah, I was like, what if there's nobody in here? Can I even get in this place? I don't see. There's no workers. This is just an empty building. Are you guys open? That's not how you be open. You need people to be open. Yeah, so I was like, whatever, I'll go back home. I have ice cream here. And I did eat it. It's good. It's tasty ice cream.
But guys, Please open. Please.
Yeah, so I guess I'll just settle for tiny donuts right now.
So I was actually listening to a podcast earlier today, and like it had Jacksepticeye as a. Who's texting you? Who are you not telling me about?
No one. Continue your story.
I don't care. But anyway, I was listening to this podcast, partially run by Critical, who I really love.
Oh, I like Critical.
And Jacksepticeye was like a guest on the podcast, and it was really funny because like within the first 5 minutes, you just hear, "Well, that must be the fastest segue into talking about pedophilia."
I feel like we haven't even said anything that stupid.
Well, yeah, but keep in mind, this is like a group of 25 and older, possibly drunk men.
Ah, that's fair. Because we've said some stupid stuff, but like, that was a good one. That was a good stupid.
That was a good stupid.
You made
good job,
stupid
guys.
There, man.
Good job stupiding there, friend.
Yeah.
Or as I've been saying lately, friendo.
Friendo? Oh gosh.
Friendo.
I've been saying for sure a lot.
I've been saying that and boyo.
Oh, that's an interesting
boyo.
one. I basically respond to everything anyone says with for sure now. Like, literally any time, like any chance I get to say for sure in response to someone, I do it, and it makes me so mad.
But, like, why for sure? I mean, to be fair, I've been saying the word cuck quite a lot.
Yeah,
Just been
that's
like,
a weird one. I think it's because one of my stream announcement GIFs, because I use a different GIF to announce my stream on Twitter every day. One of the GIFs was from Workaholics, and the dude had like a little, one of those hats that also have gloves. They're like the ears come down and you could put your hands in them.
Okay.
He had one of those on, and it was like a bear one, and it's him spinning around in a spinning chair, wearing it, and he goes, "For sure," and it says fur, like animal fur. and I saw that GIF, and then it was like, now it's all I can say.
You are the living embodiment of that post gave me cancer.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I want you to know that.
That's fair. It was a great GIF, though. It really...
I'm just like, Steve, you gave me cancer, and I want you to know that.
It really announced my stream in a high quality. My stream announcement GIFs are great. That's the one reason to follow me on Twitter. Specifically for my stream announcement GIFs. That's it.
Yeah. Go follow Steve on his stream, everybody.
Yeah, do that too.
Shameless plugs.
Twitch.tv/TheEveryman. Follow me for Rock Band content / raging at the fact that Rock Band refuses to work ever.
Shameless plugs.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, it's our podcast. We're allowed to plug ourselves. If you like our stupid banter and voices, we can do things elsewhere with equal amounts of stupidity. I'm going home. I'm going home. No, we're not talking about it. We're not. So this week we're gonna focus on a new TV show that.
Yeah, well, no, we're not, because we're not going to focus on a new one.
TV show,
we're going to focus on an old one,
so
and it's that MK Ultra one we did.
We ran a poll. Speaking of my Twitter, we ran a poll on my Twitter, asking people to let us know what idea out of the three that we've been
Guys, we
on.
got 3 whole votes.
Thanks everyone. Thanks for voting. But the overwhelming 67% of the vote.
2 out of 3
said the MK Ultra. The MK Ultra show that we started 3 weeks ago now. It was the first show that we had developed, I guess, or started developing. It was one that, Chris, I think you came up with during our week of brainstorming, where we just jotted down all those ideas.
It's like, guys, but MK Ultra.
Yeah, we're basically...
That was my entire... was my entire idea. But guys, listen, government conspiracy theories.
Yeah, that was the episode where we had like the ideas that we had prior to the show, and I had like 50 different things that I had been working on, and then you were like, dude, what about MK Ultra? And I was like, oh, that sounds cool. And then all of those 50 ideas that I had kind of all fell through, and the MK Ultra one's the only one left.
It's like, hey, so how about my idea, though?
Quality over quantity. at its
I'll
finest.
tell you that. Just insert Hank Hill, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, all my ideas fell apart, and then the one that you had is like the one that we're going to end up making first. So,
Rock and roll.
It makes me feel pretty grand about myself. No, I'm kidding. It was a good idea.
Is it about yourself or about me or about...
Well, sarcastically good about myself, but legitimately good about you.
Yay! I feel loved.
We work. That's what we do. I was
That's
going to
what
say
we
we
do.
work well together, but I mean, if anything in the first 10 minutes of this podcast has become evidently clear, it's that's a lie. Oh, before
It's
we
like, no, I take like no pride in what I do.
before we start developing, can I plug some music real quick that I found this week?
Yes, of course.
The band Electric Guest put out their first album in 5 or 6 years this past month.
What are they called?
Electric Guest.
Okay, that's what I thought you said. I wasn't like 100% sure that I heard that right.
This really cool, chill indie band that I really enjoy. The lead singer is the brother of one of the guys from The Lonely Island.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And they look identical.
Lonely Island.
They look
More
very
plugging.
similar. Hey, Lonely Island, everyone knows. But yeah, Electric
True.
Guest, guy's got like a higher voice. So if you like, imagine Maroon 5, but like more chill and indie. Like an indie version of Maroon 5. So less...
I don't know if I'd be down for that, but then again, I do kind of like Maroon 5.
Yeah, it's like less somewhat pretentious-y undertones and more just chill. It's a really good album.
Just chill.
It's called Plural. Check it out. I really like it. I've been listening to it. I've actually been listening to it. It's the only thing that has prevented me from falling back into the realm of Future. Because Future...
Oh my god!
Future also put out a new album, and when I listen to Future, I like turn into a different person for like 2 to 3 months, just listening to only Future forever and ever. And if it weren't for that Electric Guest album and also a new Flume EP, I would have done that already by now.
Wait, another what EP? Did you say Flume?
Flume, yeah, the DJ. My favorite DJ.
See, you're just telling me names I've never heard of.
Check out Flume. Check out anything Flume has done with Chet Faker.
No names. I'm not getting any names here.
I wonder, did Chet Faker put out any music? I have to find out, because Chet Faker's using his real name now. He's not using Chet Faker anymore, and I forget what his real name is, so I don't know if he's actually put out any music yet. Crap. Well, now I have to remind myself to write that down. Okay, yeah, that's all my music plugging. Now we can start the actual show.
Now we can start without, needless music plugging.
Yeah. So what we had, I guess I have to go back to what we had written down before about the MK Ultra. Well, we had the main set of characters, the setting, and the plot points, which is what we did for all three. So the setting...
What we don't have is names.
Oh, yeah, we'll get names. That'll come. But the setting we have is USA, 1950s to 1970s, starting in the 50s. You know, as time does, when you have 2 times, you start at the earlier one, and you finish with the later one. That's how time progresses, everybody. Glad I could teach you that today.
Unless you're part of Back to the Future, in which case, well, it's a whole mess.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Time is a mess when you mess with it.
Yeah!
Okay.
Space-time continuum!
And then we had 3 sets of characters in the doctors, the patients, and the volunteer assistants to the said program. And then the main / side plots. The doctor had an inner struggle between results and patients, meaning the ethicality.
Ethicality.
Yeah. Stupidity. The ethical nature of the experiments mixed with the results they're getting. And then the volunteer assistants and things are half split, siding half with the doctors and the results, and the other half siding with the patients and the more moral side of it. So there was conflict between them and the patients as they slowly get broken down and have their brains turned into goo, mentally lobotomized slowly.
Do I hear One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Yeah, something like that.
That was a good book, though.
So that's what we had. not an extreme amount of development, but enough to say that we like where we're going with it.
Yeah, definitely.
And enough to apparently get you guys to like the idea to want us to work on it. So, yeah.
We'll get there. And we'll need your help. Come along, children.
Yeah. Let's go.
See, what I did was okay. What you did... I don't want to do this podcast anymore, Steve.
Do you watch Game Grumps?
Yes, I do, actually.
Have you ever seen any of the episodes where Aaron talks about a butt-sniffing adventure?
It rings a bell, yes.
That's like my favorite thing from the show, is when he's just like, come on, we're going on a butt-sniffing adventure. Come on.
More and more shameless plugging.
There's nothing I love more than sniffing butts. Let's go on a butt-sniffing adventure. Come on. Dude, it kills me every time.
Oh my god.
Okay.
No, listen. The one episode I recently watched was just like a compilation of the glitches they've experienced and the multiple times they've freaked out on games.
The DuckTales one? Was that part of it?
Not even just the DuckTales one.
The DuckTales one was great. That game just fell apart.
No, like, it was... I forget what it was, but it was like a 2D platformer. And it was like, they were fighting a plant. And then Aaron kept
Battle Kid.
Battle Kid, was it? Just like,
the best one.
I was being offered 2 free pizzas, but it turns out they were only ham and pineapple. And I hate ham, and I'm allergic to pineapple. Oh my god, no!
Oh, that was wonderful. The end of that's the best. Where he was like, Ross has given me hope. I can do it. I'm going to give it one more try. This is the try for Ross. And then he hits end. Cancels out of the game. Oh, man. Oh, I love that.
But, didn't he like say, I'm going to like stab the rest of your family or something?
Yeah. That game was really something.
But yeah, no, that's just part of a compilation of the times that like one of them has just screamed at the game. Though it's mostly Aaron. Let's face it. It's Aaron.
Yeah, it usually is.
It's like Dan keeps a cool head, but it is funny when he freaks out.
Okay, I think we are good on
totally
sidetracked ourselves. Yeah. Now it's time to focus. Okay, so what do we want to develop for the next few weeks? If we haven't already said it, I know I've already forgotten if I've said it or not, so you guys probably have too. We're going to be working on this show, and basically we're going to be developing basically character profiles for each character, relationship profiles for each relationship between said characters, and I believe we are going to try and work on a full pilot episode. So it'll take a few weeks. I doubt that's something we can put together in like the next 45 minutes, but it'll be fun. It'll be a good time. So I think it'd be good if we start with character profiles, right? That was something you wanted, or you had mentioned.
What?
Character profiles.
So, like, okay, listen. I've only come up with one thing in this whole time you were talking, and that's just the name of the patient I want to keep an eye on throughout the story.
Okay.
I just came up with a name for him, because I think the patient who decides to, like, fight against the system should have an awesome name, and his name should be Eddie Maxwell.
It's a cool name. Did we go with that storyline of? I thought we had agreed, or you had said, and I had agreed with, that there would be no like single patient to rise against it.
Okay, well this is the one with the name.
Okay.
There's gonna be one with a name, and like he's just gonna appear multiple times.
Okay, I dig that name. I'm terrible at names, so I'm perfectly fine with any name idea.
You know what? Just give me like the character description, and I'm sure I can come up with a name.
Yeah, I think the names will come a lot easier if we have the actual character profiles.
Yeah.
Ow. So the first thing, let me go back to the former page, is the doctor/doctors. How many?
Yep.
How many doctors do you think we have?
I was gonna say like 4.
Okay, so plural.
Yeah.
Because I wrote it down twice on the first paper that we did weeks ago, and
Yeah.
one of them says doctors, and the other one just says doctor.
Yeah.
So I really confused myself. Okay, so if we have multiple doctors, we'll figure out how many exactly we want in the time span. Basically, just as many as we have ideas, I guess. I hit the microphone. I'm sorry if that made a sound.
Mic sounds.
So for what's a good setup for the doctors? Like, do they like work together?
Yes.
And well, clearly one would be higher in power than the others. I think that goes without saying. I'm trying to like draw connections to like other things that I've seen. To like work out like a power balance.
Yeah.
Because if we have volunteers, so there would be like obviously one doctor in charge, and then like the other 3 doctors, and then like the volunteers are just kind of there. Would this doctor in charge wouldn't do any of the experiments himself, right?
No, he would simply be like the person to contact that would like be in touch with the federal government.
Yeah, like the overseer of the whole thing. Okay. So we'll have that as our first character. Just going to put overseer because it takes up less paper space than person in charge.
Indeed.
So, because the inner struggle thing was most likely relating mainly to this doctor, I think a good place to start with him is someone like relatively short-tempered.
Yeah.
Like
he wants results. He wants them now.
Yeah. Okay. This might not be super impactful to you, but it is kind of for me. What would be like his build, like physical? Would he be
You know what? I was thinking about that
a short-tempered like nerdy scientist, or would he be like any movie that takes place in the 70s with the bearded doctors, like all the characters that look like they could be a part of Creedence Clearwater Revival?
Okay, see, no. He's not going to look like that. What I was thinking is he kind of... Okay, you know what? Here's the way I'm going to put it. Picture him kind of looking like Neil Patrick Harris, but more like a doctor-y Neil Patrick Harris.
Okay. So, like
average, not very huge, but, like, not looking like he's about to be beat up every day.
I don't know if that's good for, like, this type of person. Because usually the idea behind an antagonist is that they're usually something is very physically defining about them.
Yeah.
I think.
Give him an X across his face. Let me get scars.
Okay.
Okay,
so like the build of like just as a normal build and everything, but like ugly or messed up in some way.
Like he has some sort of physical deformity.
Okay. That's usually a good way to work around it. Because I had like 3 levels that make them defining, and they go by other things. There's the Creedence Clearwater Revival band member, there's Stan Smith, and there's Mr. Crocker. Those are the 3. Those are the 3, like, to me, perfect antagonistic physical builds. But
yeah, see, I was gonna say something like Stan Smith, but I'm like, no, that's like really overused.
Yeah, I think it might be overused. Yeah. Well, with you referred to Neil Patrick Harris, and that's kind of funny because he's just done a show where he's the bad guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Series of Unfortunate Events.
Oh, yeah.
He is the antagonist of that show.
Oh, my God.
Only in that show, he's, like, specifically designed to look super ugly, so.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he also played the antagonist in A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Did he? I never saw that movie.
Yeah. You know, with Seth MacFarlane.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Neil Patrick Harris was the antagonist, and he did a really good job.
Well, I mean, it's Neil Patrick Harris. He always does a good job.
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay.
Time heals all wounds. but not that bitch's window.
So,
Okay, now we need to give him a name.
I think
I'm sticking with name ideas.
I think we can develop more personality before we fit a name in, unless you have a name that fits already.
George O'Hara.
All right.
I'm making him an
I'm
Irishman.
down with that.
George O'Hara.
So here's something. I'm just going to mark that name down just so I don't forget it.
See, like, he kind of has a nerdy name, but not particularly.
So here's something that I'm at a crossroads with, I guess.
Yeah.
The character that you're describing, it would be really good. Like, I could see, when I see that character, what I see is someone who has, like, who's basically on, like, a permanent power trip.
Yeah.
Where basically they're the only one that that matters to the experiment, and everything else is just a pawn that he's moving.
Yep.
And he doesn't like having his pawns even talk to him even slightly sideways.
Yeah.
And I like that, but I don't know how well it fits with like, usually that character doesn't really fit well, like, with ethical dilemma. Because the purpose of the Doctor is to, at one point, struggle with, like, the ethicalness of it. And I don't know if I see someone who's, like, on a constant power trip being in a position of also questioning ethics.
Okay, so in that case, let's not let him struggle with the ethical dilemma, and let the 3 doctors below him, or at least one of them, do it instead.
Okay.
And then he kind of works his way up to it.
Okay. So, I think I can work with that pretty well. So, what we had said on the last show, we talked about this, is that the ethical dilemma thing would boil down to something happening. I think we had said the volunteers were working on a way to save the patients, and right when the Doctor, had assumed that he was going to stop the experiments himself, he found out about the volunteers working behind his back, and that kind of set him off.
Yeah.
And made him more hard-hearted. So, this is more of a question than an outright denial. Could that fit with the 3 doctors? Could they still do that? I think they could.
I feel like instead of just the volunteer workers, conspiring against, the head doctor, I feel like it could be like the lower doctors using the volunteer workers to kind of get in touch with the patients and coordinate.
Wait.
What?
How about this? I think this is great. Let me hope I can deliver it the way it popped up in my head. So, what you're saying, the 3 doctors, instead of the volunteers, are the ones mainly working with the patients and, like, helping them?
More like the doctors are the ones who want to get in touch with the patients, but they can't do it directly, so they do it through the volunteer workers.
Okay.
Really.
But regardless, imagine if in some way the doctors do this and they're, like, conspiring almost to stop this and shut it down.
Yeah.
And just as they do, the head doctor finds out about it.
Yeah.
And he has them killed.
Just has them killed.
Like the 3 doctors below. And in doing that, the volunteers that were working with the doctors,
yeah, he
finds out who they are, but instead of outright killing them, he offers them promotions to the doctor spot, like the doctor's old spot, so that they basically have this thing where it's like, we got to save these patients, we got to help out the doctors, they want the patients saved, so we're going to help them. And then they get killed, and then the lead doctor goes, you guys want their job? And they're like, oh, promotion. So then they kind of have have a flip in where, so basically, say you have like a body of like like 6 or 7 different parts, and half of the parts want one thing. They're like healthy, and the other half are like the sick cells. The sick cells in this case being like the doctors and the volunteers that are like wanting to shut everything down and like save the patients.
Yeah.
And right before the sick cells take over, basically there's a complete wipeout where half of the sick cells are outright removed, and then the other 6 cells are turned healthy, meaning the volunteers are swayed from their ethical leaning mindset into an idea of, ooh, we can have power, let's take that instead. And so basically, in one fell swoop, it goes from a battle of results versus ethical standing to just, okay, now it's a dictatorship.
It would basically turn into a full-blown war between doctors and patients.
Yeah. It would basically take any good connection to the patients out. It would basically take away any hope for the patients, which is a perfect place for the other character that comes in down the road that we've talked about, the reporter. I think that makes the reporter's introduction even better.
That's not a bad idea. That's actually really good.
Where originally the reporter was coming into a place that was just coming off of like a blow up between the ethical versus results sides, and he was just coming in like to see it like blow up, but now he's coming in after the dust is settled and it's gone from this back and forth to just an outright like straight lined dictatorship of no hope, only results.
Now here's what I think you should bring in the reporter like just before everything hits the fan, you know what I mean? Like not like deeply ingrain him or her into the story, but just like have them introduced, have the
reporter work with one of the doctors that gets killed, maybe.
Yeah, or just like, you know, have them recur to like check on the project. You know, not like an important role, just like kind of have them there.
Yeah, like
they
not
exist, and that's
super important. Maybe like talking to one of the volunteers that was gonna flip with the doctors.
Yeah.
And having them be like a small like in and being like, oh, so what exactly do you do? Like being slightly curious, but then when all the stuff goes down and it's like now this volunteer has completely flipped his ideas, the reporter kind of picks up on it and is like, whoa, something must have happened. I have to find out what's going on.
Exactly.
Okay, so I think that creates a much better introduction. Okay. So now to go back to where we were writing, which was still the character profile of this overseer doctor, I think what you have proposed for him is much better than my original look at it. I think it fits a lot better now. With him being this kind of power-hungry, constant power trip, attempting dictator that eventually becomes a dictator. Basically like a strong arm who uses like force to get what he wants.
Exactly.
Okay. So let me mark down some notes about that. Constant power trip. Heavy use of force. By the way, it's funny. This reporter stuff, as we had mentioned before, is happening like later into the show, like at least a season in or something. So anyone who listens to the podcast that would also watch the show, I know we've talked about the spoiler thing before, just had it completely dropped on them that those 3 doctors from the start of the show die.
Just outright. It's like there they go.
They'd be like, oh, look, these doctors seem like main characters, but anyone who's listened to the podcast would be like, oh, don't get too attached to
I know
them.
how this is going to go.
Yeah, this can't go well for them.
It's like, oh, I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Yeah, man, I really like this doctor character. Ooh, you probably shouldn't. You should probably focus on other characters.
Yeah,
we couldn't even lead in with like, oh, maybe this will be spoilers to seasons in. We were just straight up like, what if they die? Didn't even like occur to either of us that like, oh yeah, this might be a show one day. Okay, so we have Dr. 1, Overseer, George O'Hara, Constant Power Trip, heavy use of force, unshakable, which basically means like won't listen to anyone and does everything his way.
Okay, so here's the question for you. Do you want to make the reporter a guy or a girl?
I don't know if that's super impactful at the moment. I think depends.
It's really not.
It depends on where we go relationship wise.
Yeah.
I think if we have, I think that's questions better asked for the volunteers first.
Yeah.
Once we have,
well, how many volunteers do you think we want?
I'm not quite sure on a number for that yet. Let's get through these side doctors, and then we can go into volunteers.
Okay.
So for these 3 doctors that are below the overseer, so we did this once already in last week during the propaganda development with the senators, or whatever they were, where we kind of developed multiple different personalities for each character. I think it's a bit of a different standing here, where the senators were pretty much all not bad, but all tuned one way, and these doctors don't necessarily have to be. So I don't think we take directly from that, but we have done this before on the whole assigning personality types. So for the 3 doctors, what are some personality traits you see in some of them?
For one of them, I see, like, blind obedience toward the goal, you know? Like, or blind obedience toward the main doctor who wants the results, you know? Like, the unthinking and unquestioning one, you know?
Yeah, maybe not directly to just the main doctor, but just listens to what people tell him to do.
Yeah.
Because then it'd be easier to throw him along in the conspiracy against the doctor.
He really would be, like, the definition of a pawn.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, just like a pushover that just does whatever people say.
Yeah. Then there's one, I think, who would have just, like, a high opinion of him or herself. You know, like, he believes what he or she is doing is, like, right, but, like, you know, understands that there's problems with it, and he understands the human element.
Oh.
But, like, less of an opinion towards the goal, more of the opinion of themselves.
Okay, so
it's like, man, I'm doing this. That makes me a good person.
Yeah, so like a moral high ground, greater good kind of thing.
Not even. It's more like
they can say that they know they're doing something wrong, and by acknowledging that they're doing something wrong, it makes them feel better because they also know they're doing something right. And
not quite. I was more working like the angle of he or she is like completely arrogant. It was like, like. Let me think of a good way to put this. Like,
so the greater good, but without the negative.
Kinda.
Completely just ignoring the patients. Is that what you're saying?
Kinda. At least at the beginning. And, like, if he or she were to turn and, turn against the main doctor, they'd be like, oh, yeah, like, this is good. And I'm the one that should do it because I'm the best one here.
Okay, so someone basically completely driven by ego, which is another way to justify both ends of the spectrum, where at first they're like, man, I'm doing such a good thing with this experiment. These experiments are going to change the world, like, and it's all me. And then when they get when whoever comes up with the idea of rebelling, then they go, oh man, I'm going to save all these people.
Yeah.
I'm so great.
And
look at me.
It's
I'm
completely
saving
driven
these
by
people.
ego.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Ego driven.
That's
what I was trying to say.
For the record, because you said he or she, I would assume all the doctors are male because of the time period.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was thinking about making one female, but I wasn't like 100% sure I wanted to do that yet.
But yeah, this isn't necessarily a time in U.S. history where females had power of any kind.
True. I mean, they had earned the right to vote, but that's...
Yeah, it was
like they were still having issues getting jobs, and they were still like housewives and things like that.
So there could be female like volunteers / assistants.
Yeah,
but I think all the doctors could be male. Okay, so Dr. 3 Ego driven. Driven. Do you have names for either of these two doctors yet?
You know what? I was planning on one. I have a name for the reporter, but it depends on the sex. So, give me like 3 minutes, and I'll think of something, I'm sure.
Okay.
Oh, God. You know what? Like, one... Okay, see, I have a first name. I need a last name.
Ooh, last names are my weak spot. Especially.
See, like, I just gotta think of one. I was just gonna say, like, James. His name's gonna be James. And his last name can totally be... I hate myself.
James, I hate myself. Got it.
How about James Morgan?
Okay. For pushover or arrogant?
You know what? We'll go for pushover for that one.
I didn't catch that. What'd you say?
Probably for pushover.
Okay. And then we have one more doctor.
Hang on. For arrogant, you know what? I got it. Or at least I got a first name. His first name should totally be Ricky. Because that sounds like an arrogant person's name, Ricky.
Wait. What if his name was Alec?
Why?
Because he could be the reason why they call people smart Alex.
I love you. That's the greatest idea I've ever heard. Yeah.
I do that.
I got it.
Frequently.
I got it.
It's so great.
I got it. Okay. Write this down. His name is going to be Alec Bradshaw.
Gotcha.
Alec Bradshaw. Dude, that is the best idea I've ever heard.
I said it, and I like I said, I do that a lot where I like say something and I'm like, wow, could you imagine if all my ideas were this decent?
Like, that was good. That's a good one right there. And just like, I want that to make it into an episode at some point. It's like, someone's just like at home, like one of the doctors, and just like, why you gotta be such a smart Alec? What's that? Oh, it's like this guy I work with. He's a real dick. But
yeah. Oh man, that kind of rolls off the tongue now, doesn't it?
Right? As
wow,
a smart
you're right,
Alec.
it does.
There you go. But no, like that was a really good idea.
So yeah, we have one more doctor to personality type.
Yeah, and I was just looking at this. I was looking at like things around my room to give me an idea for names. I'm not kidding. I got the last name for the guy though, but I don't know what personality trait we should give him.
Yeah, so let me think of like the dynamic of them as a whole. When you have 3, it's easier to get the 4th one because then you just get the dynamic of the first 3 and see what's missing.
Yeah, really. So we got the smartass, we got the pushover, and we got the power-hungry main guy.
So obviously this 4th doctor is going to be a bit more neutral.
Yeah.
A bit more, not like laid back, but not super
I feel like we
pushed in
should
one
make
way.
him... I was going to say, I feel like we should make him something of like a hippie, almost.
Yeah, not like a hippie because...
Yeah,
obviously.
but like, you know, someone who can like identify with that state of mind.
Yeah.
Like someone who's completely laid back and like humble and caring and like the actual good person.
Yeah. Who is still choosing
like he's
results over people, but yeah, I see what you mean.
And I feel like he would be the one that like starts the whole idea of, man, this is a really bad idea. Look at what we're doing.
Well, yeah, I mean, given the other 2 of the 3 that rebel, I would assume he would be the only one willing to start the plan.
Yeah.
And then the arrogant one, the smart Alec,
smart Alec
would
indeed.
assume the idea as his own.
Yeah.
Laid back.
I was like, I have a name for him already. It took me like 3 seconds.
And name?
Jackson Young.
It's like Jackson. More like Jackson White. Get it? Like Jackson Brown, the guy. He was black, wasn't he?
I hate you.
Yeah, that's unrelated. Although that is something that, considering the time period of the show, we are going to have to touch on at one point.
Yeah.
Basically anything that takes place in between like the 50s and 60s ish, or even prior, you have to have some mention of civil rights.
Yeah, there will be.
Which, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of room for that. It's certainly not something you tackle early on, but we have plenty of room to create that air down the road. But yeah, that always threw me off. I'm like never gonna forget that Jackson Brown is black.
Yeah, his name is Jackson Young.
Well, Jackson Young, I would assume, would be white. But,
oh yeah.
But yeah, because my mom was like a really big Jackson Brown fan, and then one day I'd seen him performing, and she's like, "Oh, that's Jackson Brown," and I was like, "Wait, really? How long has he been black?" And she's like, "Forever." And I was like, "Oh." It kind of because as a kid, especially as a white child, it's not like we weren't raised around like black and white people.
Yeah.
But we are white people that come from a white family, so the idea of somebody. I might gonna Google Jackson Brown and he's gonna be super white. Yeah.
I might beat you to it.
Yeah, he's super white.
Is he really white?
Maybe I have it flipped. Maybe his name made me think he was black and then he was white and it confused me. Well, I'm glad I Googled it then, because I was going to relate it to another situation of that, but maybe I was just confusing it with that situation instead. Hootie.
His name is Clyde.
His real name?
Clyde Jackson Brown.
Oh. Well, Jackson Brown sounds kind of like... It sounds like a black name, man. That sounds super racist. You know what I mean, though, right?
I mean, like, I think it's because, like, his last name is Brown, and you didn't know what he looked like, so immediately you just think of,
Hold on.
Maybe.
Hold on.
Like, I don't mean to be racist, but I'm like, I don't know. That's a correlation.
Well, yeah, the name had always made me think he was black, but then I found he was white. But Hootie from Hootie and the Blowfish,
yeah,
he's black, but not only that, he's Darius Rucker.
What?
Darius Rucker was Hootie and the Blowfish. You know
what?
You know the country singer?
Yeah, I know Hootie and the Blowfish.
Yeah, he's Hootie.
I don't believe you.
I just Googled it.
I'm Googling it right now.
Darius Carlos Hootie Rucker. The guy that sings Wagon Wheel also sang I Only Want to Be With You.
I don't know how I feel about this.
Wow. I'm
Darius
okay
Rucker
with going
is
that
Hootie.
off topic because that needed to happen. What a realization.
Well, you know what?
You learn something new every day, man.
I don't think I've ever felt so enlightened.
Yeah, that really blew my mind. I mean, again,
wanna know how,
not like
honestly,
it matters, but the fact that he's been Darius Rucker the whole time really throws me off. Wow.
Yeah.
How about that? I never listened to Hootie and the Blowfish, so
Me either.
I guess there's
I
room
heard it
for
was like
error
a really
there,
white
but still.
band. Anyway, like the way I figured out the name for Jackson Young was like, oh, let's see what I have around my room. Okay, there's a Union Jack hanging against the wall there, and I live in Youngstown. Jackson Young. I like it.
It sounds like the name of like a hippie singer. It sounds like a member of Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Tell me it doesn't, though.
That is just my thing for everything. Everything is a member of Creedence Clearwater Revival.
It sounds like CCR.
Yeah. I could see that. I could see a Jackson Young performing at Woodstock.
Yeah.
Those are the two things.
But instead he's working in a lab.
Can it perform at Woodstock? And could it be a member of Creedence Clearwater Revival? Yes. Then it's either from the 70s or a hippie thing. Or both. Most likely both.
Most likely both.
That brings me back to like one of our first like out of context jokes.
Hang on, can we just have like a surprise appearance from Keith Richards for no apparent reason? Can we just have like a surprise like guest star appearance from like a young version of Keith Richards? Just to show up, see what happens.
Yeah, it brings me back though to when you
actually, you know what? I'm sorry to cut you off again.
Jeez!
But better yet, No. Hear me out. This is a better idea. Let's just get the actual Keith Richards, even though he's like 80,
Get
and just have him
80-year-old Keith
busted.
Richards to play young Keith Richards.
No. Not even make him look young. Just busted through the door. I'm here from the future.
Yeah.
It's all horrible.
But when you condone those 2 murders, this was back during that. Remember that? That was fun. But because you were talking about John Lennon, and you asked me if I knew John Lennon, and I was like, yeah, you mean that guy that totally looks like he could be an extra in a movie about Woodstock? That was a great joke. And saying Woodstock reminded me about how great that joke is. And also how true it still is. Could you see John Lennon in the background of a movie about Woodstock?
I could see him playing a part in a movie about Woodstock.
Well, like, so put yourself in this mind space. You're watching a movie about Woodstock, and the camera's on the band that's playing, and they're having a great time, and then it cuts to like just an overshot of the audience. Could every member of that audience have John Lennon's face? Because the answer is yes. And it would not take away from the atmosphere.
No, not at all.
It would actually add to it. If every crowd member at Woodstock in this fictional movie had the face of John Lennon.
And
Because
his
that's
glasses.
his face. That is, yes, his face, his hair, his glasses. It is just background of Woodstock at its core.
Everyone is John Lennon.
Throw in a few members of Creedence Clearwater.
Have Mick Jagger once and like, I don't know, every 100 people.
Yeah. Mick Jagger could probably fit in there.
Oh, easily.
This is the sidetrack episode. We did get a good amount of things done, but man, have we gotten sidetracked a few times. Okay, I think the last things we can do is get a few volunteers out of the way, character-wise.
You know what sucks, though, honestly?
What's that?
I don't remember what name I gave the patient. I gave it, and now I just forget it.
Yeah, so do I.
Did we write it down?
Did we?
No, I remember it. It was
Wait, what?
It was Eddie Maxwell. That's right.
What Maxwell?
Eddie Maxwell.
Yeah, I remember. I remember the first name was like Eddie or Edward or something because that's the main character from The Path.
I just remembered it from a George Carlin video. You know what was a tough name? Eddie. Where did all the Eddies go?
Okay, so how many volunteers do you think is a good number?
Okay, you mean how many need backstories?
Yeah, how many are we going to focus on? Because, yeah, you're right.
Like,
there should be, like, a good amount.
Like 3.
3?
Like, focus on 3 of them, and then have, like, 47 extras that don't matter.
Maybe not that many, but I see where you're coming from.
Okay, so what, like 2?
In terms of extras, I think we can have anywhere between... If we have 3 main, I think the total number of volunteers should be 8 to 10.
Okay.
Because it creates... It fills a room for, like, a lunch break scene environment. But it doesn't overcrowd.
Okay, I like it.
So 8 to 10. In terms of main, I think 3 is a decent number. I think the best way to figure out exactly how many is to see how many different storylines we can create with them.
Yeah.
Because there's the obvious... I'm just going to, like, spitball them before I write them down just to get an idea of how many we want. So there's the obvious working closest with the doctors to conspiracize. So that would be a standalone. Working closest with the head doctor to shut down any conspiracies. That would be a character of its own. We have the side story of an affair between volunteer and doctor.
Yeah.
Usually the lower powered affair member takes on a character of their own. So that would be 3.
Indeed.
Are there any others that you could think of?
See, when you said affair, I immediately thought of a sexual affair, and then I realized that was wrong. Like, I thought of a sexual affair, and then man, that's wrong.
No, that's what I mean.
Oh, that kind too? Okay.
Something along that line, yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. What about, like, a sex affair between, like, 2 volunteers, too?
Wait. When the reporter comes along, does one of these 3 fit to be the one in contact with the reporter?
Yeah, we can do that.
So, if we are sticking with the idea of volunteers replacing the doctors when the doctors die, that would mean we would need 3 volunteers that oppose the doctor.
Yeah.
And obviously these 3 main ones would not. I mean, clearly we don't have to give all 3 that oppose a backstory.
Yeah.
Immediately, like we can do that later. But I think if we focus originally on 4 volunteers, that would be good for us.
I can see it.
So we would have the like main one that's against the doctor, the main one that's for the doctor, the one having the affair with one of the doctors, who would probably also be on the side of for the doctor, like for the head doctor.
Yeah.
Just by nature, I guess. And then this 4th one, which is against the doctor, but not as heavily developed, I guess.
Yeah.
So someone that's just there, maybe like one of the people that works closest with the patients, so that the development for that character is seen through patient interaction.
I can see that happening.
Yeah,
I like it.
Someone who's not like super loud and upfront, but is very like, I guess, almost parently, like motherly or fatherly towards the patients. And so you don't really see them speaking up to other like volunteers or doctors, but you see them with the patients.
Yeah, I get it.
I think that creates a good set of 4 volunteers. So let me write that down real quick. Volunteer 1, we have the most anti-experiment. It's an easier way to write that. Most ethical. Hopefully I can understand these notes down the road. Most ethical. Okay, so for this most ethical volunteer, how do they go about it? Because, you know, obviously we can just give them like a straight up protagonist type personality, but do they have enough power to merit that, I guess?
I doubt it. I don't think they have they don't have a position of authority, but they have the potential to have that.
Yeah, it's hard to give that protagonist kind of personality to someone who is below in power to a lot of people. So what would be a good set of traits for them?
You know what? Something like a cool head, rational thought would be a great one. You know, not hot-headed, doesn't like just jump into situations without reading them first.
How about like that, but like really logical in thinking, not so much in action.
Yeah.
Not like they're illogical in action, but they don't do much action-wise. So basically, even though they're on the same side, like it could create a conflict between the motherly volunteer and them, because like even though he says all these things like, oh, we should help rise up, or we should save these patients in some way, he doesn't actually end up doing anything, while this motherly person is like, listen, you're saying all this crap, but I'm the only one out there like actually taking care of these people kind of deal.
I see what you're saying.
So okay, so like a very logical thinking personality, but lacking action.
Yeah, like doesn't like rather like instead of just saying they can't do it, they don't have the confidence to do it.
Yeah.
Like you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. I think it creates a good, because these volunteers, not right out the gate, but will eventually become like pretty high on power.
Yeah.
And so I think it creates a really good situation for someone who can be, because that's another thing to think about, is they're all going to be at some point swayed from their ethical mindset to a mindset that focuses more on the power that they're getting. That's including this motherly volunteer. So that's something that we need to come up with down the line. Obviously not right now, but
yeah, we'll save it for the next episode.
Yeah, but like a way for the motherly volunteer to be swayed over to a more power-driven mindset. Maybe something like a betrayal with the patients or something like that. But yeah, okay. So for I know we're going to go a little over an hour here, but for the other few volunteers, we have the most results focused. So they're the one that's like basically teacher's pet to the head doctor.
I'd say we give him, like a personality to mirror his mentor. Like a hothead.
Almost like like Randall from Recess.
Little bit.
Yeah. The little Weasley kid that hangs around that teacher all the time.
What a dick.
Yeah. Everybody hates Randall. So,
everybody hates Randall.
Hothead. That starts fights. And teacher's pet. And then we have volunteer 3, who is the affair person.
Yeah.
It's a female, more than likely.
Yeah,
I don't think it's necessarily in our wheelhouse to tackle 50s gay affairs.
Yeah, see, because that was a very taboo thing.
That was a really weird thing. That could take on a body of its own, and we already have so many things that could take on bodies of their own.
Yeah, so
really we'll leave it alone. Talking gay rights of the 50s right now. I mean, there's mind control. There's conspiracies going on.
Yeah, that's a thing we could tackle on another day.
Okay, so the personality type of this volunteer, clearly very seductive.
Yep.
I could see...
Well, okay, you know what? I'm going to say it outright. Probably hot.
Yeah, I would hope.
Yeah.
50s hot. Mm.
Like 50s hot.
I could see them, like their position as a volunteer could be to, calm down or, I guess, stop the, male patients from freaking out.
Yeah.
Just send in the hot chick.
Send in the hot one.
He's going crazy in here. Send in the hot chick. You got it, sir. Boop. Yeah.
Betty, we need you.
Somebody go get Betty. This guy's freaking out.
We're not going to call her Betty, by the way.
So doesn't care much for or against patients.
No.
Okay. So yeah. So we've got the most ethical, logical thinking volunteer, the teacher's pet hothead, the hot chick, the hothead, the hot chick, same thing. And then volunteer 4, which I have to move to a new page, who is the motherly volunteer. So that would come out to an almost even 2 male, 2 female volunteer, right? In terms of main characters.
Yes.
Volunteer.
Names later.
We'll do names later. Motherly cares more about protecting patients than rebelling. Are there 2 L's in rebelling?
Yes.
Huh. Alright. So we have 4 doctors, 4 volunteers. I think 8 characters is a pretty decent stopping point for this week.
Same.
We've got some pretty decent progress. It'll also make next week a lot easier because we'll develop a few patient characters, and then we can gel into relationships pretty easily from there. So
yes, we can.
Now we can announce. We didn't say at the beginning that we had a special announcement at the end.
Womp womp, but we did.
But we do have a special announcement. So if you listen to all this,
put it in the description, Steve.
Yeah, if you listen to it all through this whole show, thanks. Appreciate it. You get rewarded with a cool little special announcement. So we've been thinking about this for the past week and a half or so.
Ish.
But we really want to try our best to get people more involved and more interactive with us on this show. Because as much as we like things we write, we also like the things that you guys write. And want this as much of a creative writing development process of a podcast. We want it also to be a place for people to come together and share their creative ideas. And,
okay.
And so
yeah.
Our idea for that is we are going to be running 2 separate contests, one that will take place over the next few weeks and one that will take place every week in the comments or on Twitter or anywhere, or our Discord that nobody's using.
Well, yeah, you didn't link it, you dingus.
I linked it on Facebook, and I'm going to start putting it in the descriptions from now on.
I was like, yeah, put it in the description, buddy, because you're good at that and I'm not.
Yeah, so the extended contest, which will be going on for the next few weeks, is we are asking people to write a short story. It is a short story prompt contest. Everybody involved that wants to participate, all they have to do is write this story, send it in, we pick the best one, and you get a prize undisclosed at the moment. We'll probably have one by next week officially to announce, or sometime this week. I'll announce it on Twitter when we think of it, when we finalize everything.
There's only one stipulation for this little contest, though. The story you write can be no longer than 200 words. We'll give you enough space to write something good, but not enough to, write a whole novel.
Yeah, so it's 200 words, and the topic for this short story is it has to be from a first-person point of view, and it must take place after a global tragedy, real or fictional of your choosing. So not a whole lot of requirements, under 200 words, first person, post-global tragedy.
You know what? And personal challenge from me. If you can do it in 5 sentences, you'll earn my, eternal admiration, because that's awesome.
Yeah, so work with it how you see fit. We give the creative parts over to you. And after a few weeks, if we get a good amount of submissions, we will look through them, pick the best one. They will receive the prize, talk about it on a future episode. It'll be great. It'll be a good time. So be up to date with that. Even start working on it now if you have your idea.
Yeah, boy. Or girl. I respect all genders, I swear.
Did you just assume our listener's gender?
Oh my god!
How could you? And our weekly contest, so to speak, is if you check Twitter or watch the show at midnight, you've probably seen something similar before, where they take a small, short prompt or hashtag of some sort, and they ask people to come up with witty responses to said hashtag or prompt or whatever it may be. And we want to do that as well. And so each week we will have an interesting little prompt that people can respond to in the comments or to either of our Twitters or Snapchats or the Discord server or wherever you can submit it to us. And after each week we will pick maybe one of our favorites, maybe more if there's enough of them. And they will receive points, which will be used to redeem for prizes in our Discord server. And I'll be setting that up. Chris, I will probably be able to do that myself. If you have cool ideas for it, I'd like to hear them, Chris. But
I will try.
Hopefully be able to do that myself.
I will certainly try.
But for this week, the prompt is Catify a movie. We have 2 examples of our own here. Something along the lines of Mad Cat, Furry Road.
Or The Big Meowski.
So, basically, just go into the comments below, go to our Twitters.
Just have fun with it.
Wherever, yeah. Come up with your best catified movie. And
even if it's not good, put it in anyway.
Yeah. Everything could be good to somebody. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder thing. Don't.
Great. Very, very profound, Steve.
Nothing you say could possibly be stupidy enough to something. Stupidity.
Or ethicality.
I make up good. I make words good.
I does the English good, man.
Yeah.
I swear. Swear to God.
So yeah, go ahead and do that, and we'll pick our favorites over the week and award them points. And the points don't seem like much right now, but they will be cool, I promise.
Maybe. I mean,
hopefully.
we're two college students.
I don't know how you define cool, but if you define cool as lame, I got you.
Got you. But if you define cool as a 2-week Bahamian cruise, well, I'm not that rich.
we can't help you with that one right now.
Go talk to Nickelodeon.
Yeah. What? Sure. All right.
Go talk to Nickelodeon.
Well, that is it for us. I have to find the notepad page. There we go. Where I kept track of what I'm supposed to do for editing. Sweet. Awesome. So thanks everybody for listening. Hope you enjoyed. I know we got super sidetracked a lot this week, but hey.
Oh, well, you thought it was funny, I hope.
Yeah, I hope you got a good laugh out of it and also enjoyed what we had written. We're going to be back next week working on more MK Ultra show related things, more characters, more development. It's going to be good times. Don't forget, all of our social medias are in the description below. Right.
Feel free to add us, follow us, do whatever. Tweet at us. Tweet us something horrible if you really want to.
Say we're dumb. Say we're the stupidest people that you've ever seen in your lives, even though you only hear us.
Yeah.
Or make fun of my new haircut. Either or.
Yeah, everybody make fun of Steve's new haircut. Okay?
Yeah, I'm down with that. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and my bass playing skills.
Woo! Thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you guys next week.
See you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Goat noise.
It's a sheep show now. Wow, this episode sure was one big sheep show. Hi.